Om Shanti. Today is the 23rd of November 2022. Let us listen to the Sakar Murli this Wednesday morning from our beloved Bap Dada. Bap Dada, Madhuban. Essence. Sweet children, become God's helpers and, like the Father, do the service of making the devilish society into the deity society. Be interested in doing service. What does Baba say in essence this Wednesday morning? Baba says, sweet children, become God's helpers and, like the Father, do the service of making the devilish society into the deity society. Be interested in doing service. Today we have two questions. The first question: many children are unable to forget the old world even though they try to forget it. What is the reason for this? Baba answers, because their karmic bondages are very severe. We are unable to forget the old world even though we try to forget it because our karmic bondages are very severe. Baba says, when you are unable to connect your intellect in yoga to the new world because your intellect is repeatedly running to the old world, it is said that it is not in your fortune. That is, your actions are wrong. Second question: what taste should you develop so that you cannot stay without doing service? Baba says, a taste for being merciful. Only those who have tasted knowledge know how to be merciful. Merciful children cannot stay without doing service. Today's song is, You are the ocean of love, we thirst for one drop. Om Shanti. You heard the words, you are the ocean of love. You children know that the Father is the most loved of all. When you remember the Father, you also remember the inheritance. Those who remember the Father and have that faith would definitely be happy. In fact, when people go to a Shiva temple, they call the Shivalingam there Shiv Baba. So, why don't they have that much happiness? They also offer milk, fruits and flowers to the Shivalingam. You don't need to offer milk, etc. Incorporeal God is the Father, is He not? The God of devotees is also the Creator. It is remembered that He created this human world. Although they do so much devotion to Him, their mercury of happiness doesn't rise as much as that of you children. You have goose pimples as soon as you hear God's name. It enters your intellects that you receive from the Father the inheritance of His home and also His property. A son takes birth in his father's home. There cannot be any change in that. Among the property, there can be factories and land, etc. here and there. Although a house is also part of his property, his other property can be exchanged. The house is called a fixed asset, and the rest of the property can be called movable property. You children also know that you become the masters of the Father's home and that this can never change. There cannot be any change in the sweet home, but kingdoms change so much. One is fixed and the others are movable. The land of liberation is fixed. There is change here. From the Sun dynasty, you change and become the Moon dynasty and then the Merchant dynasty. There is liberation and liberation in life. You children become the masters of the Father's property. You know that everyone becomes a master of the Father's fixed property. However, children receive the movable property, number-wise. We receive the most, best property of all. You rule the kingdom in heaven. Out of the 4 ages, the main clan is the Bharatvasi clan of Brahmins who belong to the deity religion. Not everyone goes around the whole cycle. Those from this religion who have been converted to other religions will emerge. Many who have been converted to Christianity and Buddhism will emerge again. Many have been converted in this way. It can be seen that such a time will come when everyone will return to their original religion. Baba says anyone can understand this knowledge. It is a common thing to understand this world cycle. No matter how much of a dull head someone is, at least this much enters his intellect. It isn't that you become full of all virtues by knowing the world cycle. No, this is a study. Baba gives the example of Laukik and Alaukik studies. Baba says those are limited studies, whereas this study is unlimited. Only your intellects have the knowledge of how the cycle turns. All other religions come later. This knowledge is very easy. Some are hardly able to understand it. However, you have to become yogi to that extent. Everyone remembers him. Him meaning Shiv Baba. You know the world cycle. You also need to have that stage. It requires very good effort to become full of all virtues. One obstacle or another emerges. You yourself sometimes say that you don't have the virtue of speaking sweetly. You have to make effort. What does Baba say? Baba says the aim and objective is straightforward. The aim and objective is straightforward. Baba told you last night you can write that you are studying Raj Yoga once again exactly as you did 5000 years ago. Whenever you hold an exhibition or a projector show, you must definitely write this wonderful thing, that you are once again showing them this method of studying Raj Yoga once again, exactly as you did 5000 years ago. The father says you are making this effort according to Srimad, exactly as you did 5000 years ago. They say that the duration of each cycle is hundreds of thousands of years, and that the Iron Age is still in its infancy. You say that you are making effort like you did 5000 years ago to claim the status of your deity self-sovereignty. People will then be amazed at what you have written. If they say that it is hundreds of thousands of years since the Golden Age, ask them where that much deity population is. The population of Hindus is less. Hindus have been converted to other religions. So many Hindus have become Muslims. They are called sheikhs. There are many of them. Some don't even believe that they belong to the original eternal deity religion. They speak of the original eternal Hindu religion. However, the Hindu religion is not the original and eternal religion. You can even have these things printed in the newspapers. It is not a question of putting them in magazines. There must be hundreds of thousands of papers being printed. Yes, they do charge a lot of money for that. When you explain to them, they may print it. They may even print the cycle. You can even print in the papers the question that Baba has asked. Is the God of the Gita Krishna or Shiva? Sometimes they would print it at a cost, and sometimes they would even print it free of cost. That is, free at no cost. Have this printed in the main important newspapers, Baba says. However, only when this is printed every day will people's eyes open. If you print it just once, some people may read it and others may not. By it being printed every day, people's eyes will open. So what is Baba saying? We must print it in the newspapers, the question that Baba has asked. Is the God of the Gita Krishna or Shiva? Baba says by it being printed every day, people's eyes will open. They will then come to understand knowledge. This requires hard work and effort. Many storms of Maya will come. It does require effort to print something in the papers and hold examinations and hold exhibitions. An exhibition takes place in just one village, whereas the papers are distributed everywhere. Baba thinks about these things throughout the whole day. He has to speak about what can be done and how service can be made to progress. Baba says it does require effort to print something in the papers and hold exhibitions. An exhibition takes place in just one village, whereas papers are distributed everywhere. So, Baba thinks about these things throughout the whole day. He has to speak about what can be done and how service can be made to progress. You children are the true helpers of God. To help society is also to serve them. You children know that all of those societies are impure. They now have to be made into divine societies. The society of the whole world has to be made to reach heaven. The boat of the whole world is sinking. The world was heaven at first and it has now become hell. How does this cycle continue to turn? This is the drama. When there is heaven, hell doesn't exist. Where does it go? Baba asks. Down below. The drama has to turn again. This is a living drama. Every act that takes place second by second is in your intellects. Others cannot understand anything. If they were to understand the drama, they wouldn't be able to say that the cycle is hundreds of thousands of years long. The swastika is absolutely accurate. They also even worship the swastika, but they don't know what it is. It doesn't have any meaning. Therefore, you have to explain this cycle to them. This cycle continues to turn around in your intellects. You say that you are changing from human beings into deities, from an ordinary human into Narayan. This is Raj Yoga. You have the picture of the Trimurti in your intellects throughout the whole day. Through Brahma, you receive the kingdom of the land of Vishnu, and through Shankar, this devilish world is destroyed. Simply let your intellects have these thoughts. You have to remain very happy. Baba is having lockets made with which you can explain very easily. You can even have these pictures, the Trimurti and the cycle, printed on bags. The picture of Lakshmi and Narayan has everything else, and it also explains about Krishna. These things are not in the picture of the cycle. How many things could be shown in one picture? Baba says this is why that is explained separately. Baba's intellect works the whole day on how they can make very good temples to Lakshmi and Narayan and also to Krishna. But no one knows who Lakshmi and Narayan are or who Radhe and Krishna are. You have now received so much knowledge. Therefore, Baba says you should remain very happy. You can go anywhere and do service. You can even go to Srinath Dware and explain there. Explain to the trustees of the temples there. Take a casket, that is Shiv Baba's light, with you, put it on and explain to an important person, and he will be very happy. He would think that God himself has adopted a form and is explaining to him. Some children have a very keen interest in doing service, but they don't go to eminent people. You can go anywhere and meet such people. There is no question of expense, etc. At first, they would think that you have perhaps gone there to receive something from them. You should create many methods for service. Otherwise, time is wasted. Each one of you has to ask your heart. You have to be very merciful and benefit many people. If you haven't tasted knowledge, there won't be the taste for being merciful. Otherwise, you children can do very good service. Baba shows you many methods for doing service. As soon as you hear them, you should run. That is, if you have time. You should have a keen interest in doing service, for only then will you be able to claim a high status. You can do very good service using the pictures of the Trimurti and the cycle. Baba is repeatedly telling us to have interest in doing service and taking out the time for it. So, Baba says you can do very good service using the pictures of the Trimurti and the cycle. You can even explain to the foreigners who come here. This knowledge is so good. This is the knowledge of the history and geography of the world. Sannyasis go abroad to give the people the knowledge of Bharat's ancient Raj Yoga. But they are unable to give it. You have all the facts and figures, but you need to have the courage to explain them. You can show all the pictures with the projector and give them knowledge, and that will be very good. Abroad too, you can give this knowledge very well in the projectors. People will become very happy when they hear it. Where is Christ now, and when will he come again? They will know this. They will at least take the knowledge of the cycle of the drama. If you have a projector with you, you can do very good service. No one can forbid you to do this. You can explain to everyone. Take all the slides with you. It would be better if they were in English. You also have to make effort. If the intellect's yoga of everyone is connected to Shiv Baba, establishment will take place very quickly. The Father continues to explain to you according to the drama plan. He continues to give you directions. Those who receive these things have to be very sensible, clever, and wise. The writing on the slides has to be very clear so that people can read it. It should be in both Hindi and English. You also have to make them in the Urdu and Madrasi languages. It will then be very easy to explain anywhere with the projector. You have to do service to make others similar to yourselves, for only then can you hope to attain or claim a good status. If not, Baba asks, what status would you receive? Poor people are very unhappy. When you give them the Father's introduction, there is happiness. Some have never even seen Baba and they write letters to Baba. Baba, I will definitely claim my inheritance from you. There are so many in bondage. Only when your name is known and your impact spreads everywhere can they become free. You have to liberate from jail those who are your equals. If you don't do service, what status would you receive? At the end, Baba says, you will have visions of everything. You will then remember all the wrong deeds you have done. The Father will continue to give you visions of what disservice you did after belonging to the Father. You will then have repentance. Therefore, the Father continues to explain that you should remain very well occupied in doing service. Baba needs very good daughters who can do service. You should think about how you can help in doing Baba's service so that your sovereignty is quickly established. There should be an interest in doing service. Serviceable children have to beat their heads so much to make those with stone intellects into those with divine intellects. This is not a small thing. Nevertheless, you children should have so much happiness that you are once again claiming your inheritance of heaven from Baba. However, this is incognito. The amount of karmic bondage is so severe that you don't even forget the old world. The yoke of your intellects hangs on to worthless things. You don't connect it to the new world. That is called performing wrong actions. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and we the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for dharana, 2 points. The first point today, serve to make others similar to yourself. Don't perform such wrong actions that there would have to be punishment. Make effort to become very, very sweet. Second point, the Father is making you into the masters of the fixed and movable property, meaning liberation and liberation in life. Maintain the happiness and intoxication of this. Today's blessing, may you be a double server, and together with serving with words, also serve with your attitude of spreading spiritual vibrations. Let's hear the wonderful blessing again. May you be a double server, and together with serving with words, also serve with your attitude of spreading spiritual vibrations. Baba explains, just as you serve with words, in the same way, together with words, also serve with your attitude. Service will then take place fast because you can forget words with time, but you can put a stamp on minds and intellects with your vibrations. So, in order to do this service, do not have any wasteful vibrations for anyone in your attitude. Wasteful vibrations become a wall in front of spiritual vibrations. Therefore, keep your mind and intellect free from wasteful vibrations, for only then will you be able to do this double service. Finally, the slogan for today: instead of complaining, stay in remembrance and you will receive all your rights. Slogan once again: instead of complaining, stay in remembrance and you will receive all your rights. Acha, Om Shanti.